My name is Dan Michals, and I'm with Prairie Display Chicago, and we produce and manage client trade show exhibits. And today I'm here because of the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is now that COVID-19 has put a stop to face-to-face marketing events, trade shows of all kinds, what are exhibitors doing in place of this? What are companies doing in place of this to fill this gap? So Prairie has been interviewing clients and industry professionals to shed some light on this unprecedented situation and basically share personal experiences. So today we have Monica Sanders, owner and director of operations at Visionary Optics, and we also have Kathleen England, who is a sales and education specialist. Thank you both so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
So I just have some questions about how you've sort of filled this gap of not being able to see your customers and prospects and what you've done. So I'd like to start by asking you to basically explain the mission of Visionary Optics, and then tell me a little bit about how COVID has affected your business.
Yep, absolutely. So this is Monica. So thanks again, Dan, for having us today. So Visionary Optics is a specialty contact lens partner for optometrists nationwide. We offer highly customized contact lenses for very high need patients. So these are typically patients with cornea disease and moderate to severe dry eye disease. One of the most prevalent cornea diseases would be keratoconus, where the cornea becomes very irregular. And basically patients have incredible vision difficulties, and our contact lenses are highly specialized in order to address those vision difficulties. Many of these patients that we're helping every day, they wouldn't be able to get driver's license. Many of them wouldn't be able to be employed. We really do change people's lives every day, and that's incredibly rewarding for our team.
Yeah. I've seen some, examples of your work and your scleral lens products, and it really is very cool. It really is cool.
Yeah, no, and we feel so blessed because it's such a great combination of us getting to, really move this industry forward with becoming more and more customized, more and more tailored for each individual patient, and every single lens that we're doing. Like I said, we're not exaggerating when we say we are changing lives, and we're helping these doctors who have patients that are just crying in their chairs just because of the amount of change in their lives that these small little contact lenses can bring. So in addition to our very unique contact lens designs, we also offer a technology that's called the SMAP 3D. I think we'll go into just a little bit more detail later on that, but basically it's a technology that's only available through Visionary Optics, and it measures the patient's whole entire eye surface, and it really lets us design a fully customized, free-form contour directly to that patient's eye lens. So that really just increases the success and really helps our doctors and these patients. Visionary Optics' mission is actually more than just about the products and technology that we offer. It's really about providing this full support to our doctors from start to finish. So we offer our products, our experience, our expertise, but we also offer our doctors education, training, marketing differentiation, and exceptional customer service. So I'm sure almost every company will tell you they give exceptional customer service, and I can tell you without doubt that is a primary focus on our end. So it's really about providing that support from start to finish for our doctors. As far as COVID, we've been affected just like every other business. This has been a really hard year for everybody. I know some businesses have been affected way more than others. We do consider ourselves very grateful and blessed that these contact lenses are a medically necessary device. So these patients, they need these lenses. This is not optional. So obviously that first shutdown really brought our sales down to nothing, much like most businesses. But what we have found is that really just deferred the business versus losing it. Once doctors were able to start seeing patients again safely, once patients started being able to feel, comfortable going to doctor's offices, we were able to see that business increase relatively quickly. And overall, our growth was clearly not what the projection that we had going into 2020 was supposed to be. But we're blessed. We have our whole team. And we also have managed to really utilize any quote downtime that we have very well.
Well, that's great to hear, and you guys have an amazing team over there. So thinking back before the pandemic, how important was it to exhibit at trade shows and meet prospects face to face?
I'll take this one, Dan. So obviously, like Monica said, a lot of our magic is done in the office and in our manufacturing lab. But a huge part of my job in particular is to see these customers face to face and be able to meet them. And we do virtual demonstrations. We do have virtual conversations, and we do that all year round, with COVID or without. But this year we've had to do it strictly just virtual. And that really takes away the added, the benefit of having in-person meetings. We get to, at these trade shows, we get to meet these doctors and their staff from all around the world, basically. I mean, a lot in the US, but we have people coming from different countries. And it's just great to be able to meet with them. They can see our SMAP 3D. They can also see our lenses and meet the team and really have a personal effect. So we definitely miss doing trade shows.
I hear you.
I would totally agree with everything Kathleen said. And, I think really the opportunities of the trade shows for us fall into three categories. One, connecting with our current customers. And like Kathleen said, face to face, getting to spend some time with them, either inside or even outside the trade show, getting to know them better, really making sure they know who we are, they've met us, we can really discuss how else we might be able to help them. So I really think connecting with our current customers, we've certainly been using Zoom a lot more like every other company, but it's just not the same. And then also meeting, other specialty lens fitters that maybe aren't fitting Visionary. So they're in the industry, they're well aware, but they're fitting a competitive product. That is our opportunity as they come by our trade show booths to be able to connect with them and ask them how things are going and how we might be able to help them optimize their fitting, add to their portfolio of specialty lenses, etc. And then last but certainly not least is all the future eye doctors. So we're always meeting students, we're meeting people that are just about to graduate, and those are the future of Visionary. They're the future of our industry. So really getting to meet them face to face, tell them what type of offerings we have for new ODs. I mean, those are the types of opportunities you can certainly attempt to emulate with webinars and with emails. But I mean, I'm sure everyone can agree the amount of marketing emails we get on a daily basis right now is absolutely astronomical. So it's certainly a lot harder to get people's attention.
Yeah. So you brought up a good point, and I'm hearing this a lot from clients, sort of this unintended networking that goes on in these trade shows. It's so much more than this two-dimensional, I have an appointment with a client and I'm going to sit down with this client, we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z. It's all the different people that you meet that are involved in your industry. And it's very interesting to hear that.
And you're right. And to your point, another point I didn't cover is meeting with other people in our industry. Competitors or not, we're all working together to further our industry to better serve our doctors and their patients. So really, it's meeting with them, seeing what's going on, with what's being spoken about on the podium, things like that. And then I would also venture to say that honestly, some of the most beneficial interactions that we have at trade shows are the ones that are completely unplanned. Like you said, I mean, the ones that you don't necessarily have an appointment, but someone wanders by your booth and you end up getting into a discussion. And those are really kind of the magical interactions that you get to have at these types of meetings.
I like how you describe that, magical.
Well, maybe it's a slight exaggeration, but truly it's the ones that you're just
I don't think it is.
unplanned.
I don't think it is. All right. Well, that's all that magic being said. What has your specific experience been with virtual events?
So it's been very minimal, if we're being honest. So I just want to get that out there. And then if also, since we're being honest, we haven't exactly had great experiences with it. And we also haven't heard great things about it from some of our partners or people that I know has had some more experience with that. Having said that, I would certainly like to say every industry is different. Every meeting is different. I'm sure it depends on what type of technology they're using, the attendees, what types of, engagement platforms that they have available. So we really actually do have fairly minimal experience with it. As a company, we have really chosen in 2020 not to use the majority of our marketing dollars on virtual trade show events. So, based on what we had heard and some of our limited experience, we really decided to try to use what money that we were comfortable using this year, which was much more minimal than what we were expecting. We worked on a new product line launch that we're going to be launching in January. So we have a brand new product line called Vibrant View. It's an eye care and contact lens wear solution line. So we're launching that in January, and we have spent an unbelievable amount of time on that this year. We've also, after a very long time, we were able to release a cloud-based order management program, which, needless to say, came just in time for all of this remote working and people not being able to be in offices and things like that. So that helped immensely with efficiency and really being more transparent with our customers and communication. So one of the other goals we're working towards is using a phase 2 program within that one that we're going to give to the doctors so that they can really have that whole 21st century consumer experience that everyone's kind of looking for now. Pay your bills, place your orders, access patient histories, etc. So we've been working on that. And then last but not least, we've really been focusing on supporting our current customers. So I'm not saying it, we've actually had quite a few new customers joining our team this year. But having said that, we've really focused on how can we help our current customers through this time. We extended warranties. We offered patient assistance programs. We worked on marketing differentiation. How can we help our doctors get patients in the door even during the time of COVID?
Very nice. It sounds like you've both have used this time incredibly wisely, and that's great to see, being able to adapt to any environment. That's fantastic. So talk a little bit more about the SMAP device specifically, and how that's shown at trade shows and demonstrated.
Yeah, so as Monica stated, the SMAP 3D is a corneal scleral topographer. So what it does is the doctor sits the patient down, takes images of the eye, 3 of them to be exact, and that data maps the eye, and we can get a completely free-form lens from the data, basically. Now we can do virtual demos, and I've been doing this, like I said before, I've been doing this since we began, and that's very helpful for people who especially don't go to trade shows necessarily, or maybe we miss each other. But when we're at trade shows, these doctors and their staff can actually see the instrument in person. They can map each other, our staff, one of the doctors, and they can actually see the data that it presents. And we can walk them through how it actually works and how we can integrate it into their practice. So it really is invaluable to be able to be with these people in person and for them to see this, because it is an investment, of course, for these doctors and their practices. So they want to feel confident by actually seeing, feeling the device. The biggest question I always get is, what are the measurements of this device? So when you're doing a virtual demo, you can show pictures and send measurements, but there's nothing like actually seeing it in person, and trade shows are the best ways, I think, to do that.
Definitely. And I heard Monica say this too, that the virtual aspect can be hit or miss, but it can be successful for other industries. And I'm kind of seeing a trend now for the clients that need to demonstrate a product. The virtual thing maybe isn't the best fit, but for different industries, the virtual events, they really do work out well. So it is definitely across the board. I guess my last question in general, When and if do you think physical trade shows, when do you think they'll return? And will they be different?
Well, I hope they return as soon as possible. I mean, I think that it will return as soon as it's deemed to gather in a large amount of people. I know it'll be different for sure. I mean, even just shopping and doing normal things now during the pandemic is different, but I'm assuming in 2021, I'm hoping we'll go back. We're getting some emails about different trade shows, but I'm sure they'll just maybe do less people in smaller groups of time, possibly. I know I'm personally ready. I haven't been on a plane all year, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I would also like to note that I didn't think this would ever come out of my mouth, but I really miss putting up a trade show booth, Dan. And we're definitely going to need to put you on FaceTime again next time we have to put one up, because we don't even remember how to do it anymore. But we can't wait until we get to do it again. But yeah. And I agree. And you know, I think virtual definitely has its place, and I think it's going to be here forever. That's the beauty of technology and where we are. But I also think, I mean, it's just people like to gather, people like to interact face to face. We all need that from both a personal and a professional level. I do think I can at least speak for our business after this year and how we had to kind of reevaluate some of our funds and what we were going to do. We might be a little bit more thoughtful in which trade shows we're going to do. Not if, we certainly will, but maybe just a little bit more thoughtful on which ones we're going to do, since I think every business can get into a pattern of just doing the same ones over and over, and you do realize the world isn't going to end if you don't show up at the one that you go to every year, but you realize maybe it's not the best fit for your business anymore. So I do think maybe some reevaluation, but we personally cannot wait to get back on a plane and set up a trade show booth with your help, Dan.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So, you know, to your point, I think you're right. I think if there are changes, they will be very positive for both buyer and seller. You know, I heard a comment that, you know, if the people that are going, they might not send as many people. So the people that are going obviously might have more buying power, might have more influence. And on the client end, they will target specific shows that are most important to them. So I think it will be cool to see as long as it's done safely. So,
Yes.
So thank you both so much for your time. It was great to see you both again. And, you know, obviously happy holidays, and looking forward to a very bright 2021. Thank you both so much.
Us too. Thanks, Dan.
Yes.
We appreciate you and everything Prairie does for us.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.